Oh, yeah. Welcome to Weddings Uncensored, where we drink and talk and talk and drink. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Allie, and we are here breaking down the good, the bad, and the downright crazy of this whole wedding industry.
Cheers!
Cheers! And happy Tuesday. Back again. We are recording our 70th episode today.
Let's go.
That's a lot.
That is
It's
a lot.
lot of knowledge we've dropped.
It's honestly a lot more than I thought we would drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm proud of us.
yeah. Go us. Go Weddings Uncensored. Well, thanks to you guys for actually listening. So, because if you didn't listen, we for sure wouldn't be here.
Thank you to our listeners, all of our adoring fans.
Yep.
Reminder to check out our Etsy where we sell our cool merch.
Oh,
We've
yes.
been getting a couple comments.
Yes, please.
It's linked in our Instagram bio, and you can search for the Weddings Uncensored shop on Etsy. You can look as cool as me.
I have a hat.
Yeah, why are you wearing our merch? Come on, there we go.
There we go. We got my hat.
Do the finger.
Mm.
Excellent for engaged couples and our vendor friends alike.
Yeah.
But enough self-promotion for one day. Enough self-promotion for one day. Today, we are going to talk about, one of our favorite things to talk about, how to make the wedding planning process a little bit more stress-free.
I thought you were going to say how to make babies.
Oh, that is also one of our favorite things to talk about. Not babies, though. Ew.
Oh,
Ew.
yeah, you hate babies. That's right.
hate babies. How do you not make babies? That's the real question. Whatever. We are giving our top 7 tips on how to make wedding planning stress-free.
As much as possible.
As much as possible, because there's always going to be crazy shit.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You'll get stressed. It'll happen.
Yes.
But
if you follow these 7 tips, it will hopefully mitigate some of that stress a little bit.
And wait, actually there's a phrase recently. You can't get stressed because you know how to control your stress.
What? That is not a saying.
No, you just no, it's not a saying. But there was a saying I heard in a movie.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say it out loud of like it was about training. Oh, you know what it was? It was Rick and Morty.
Okay.
And it was the episode about the 2 crows. Anyway, Rick gets 2 crows. We do this tangent pretty often, by the way, people. Rick gets 2 crows, and the problem is that they're not trained. But then a great alpha crow comes over and looks at the crows and it says, they don't need to be trained. The training is already complete. And it's just like the crows just start immediately listening as if they had already been trained how to follow Rick.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is if you know how to not be anxious, then you won't be anxious. Look at that.
Okay,
Just
well,
drop that knowledge for
if
everybody
anyone
right now.
understood that, please DM me personally, and shoot over a little Kyle translation, because you'd think after being friends for so long, I would understand your tangents, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Honestly,
It's okay.
the more I kept talking, the more even I was like, this is not going the direction that my ADHD brain completed the thought, but I couldn't communicate it. So
It's okay.
I'm sorry,
our
everybody.
dear listeners, I love your tangents. But I'm going to get us back on track
Thank
as
you.
per usual.
Thank you.
The top 7 tips for stress-free wedding planning. Number 1, equity in wedding planning between you and your partner.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
So is that more of like you and your partner just meshing well through the planning process, or is that another direction?
That is actually making sure that both of you are planning together. I think we still see stereotypically, this very heteronormative idea of like the bride is taking on the bulk of the planning. I notice it when I look at Instagram, and it's all these memes that are like, oh, the groom just shows up and has no idea what's been going on these last 12 months. And I'd love to say that that's not real, but like it is. I see it all the time. I mostly am in contact.
That's the real world.
Yeah.
I was that way.
Yeah.
Because my worries are not about the wedding. I know that the wedding is happening. Period. End of story.
But that's because you knew
I
someone
proposed.
but you knew someone was taking care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no. It would happen. It was either we're going to elope and it's going to be casual. Or if you want a big wedding, go plan your big wedding.
Right. Which is, and that's a thing. But even in same-sex couples, there's typically one partner that is going to take on this lion's share of the physical work, the emotional work, all of the bandwidth that it takes, which is a lot. It takes time. It takes money. It's stressful. And so it's super not fair to put that on one person. But what you're bringing up is a real, like, reality too. Like, if one partner is just like, I will go along with this, but I genuinely want nothing to do with it.
100%.
How do you reconcile that between you and your partner? Can you find that compromise?
Well, if it's a compromise of effort, then
it's effort. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. If it's a compromise of effort, to me that comes off a compromise of time.
Yeah.
Because planning a wedding takes a lot of time. So for any guys listening that are not excited, girls not listening and not excited about wedding planning, I think of it more as like I didn't want to invest a lot of time in making decisions. It's not necessarily that I didn't care. Because I do care, and I want Stephanie to have the wedding that she wanted. So by all means, please plan it how you envision it. I don't know how you've been envisioning this wedding for 15, 20, however many years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a certain vision and you want to build it out, go for it. Yeah. I'm not a professional in that. Yeah. At the time, I was not a professional in weddings. So don't ask me to do something elaborate about something that you've been dreaming about and help you plan it. Yeah. That's too much pressure. Okay. Not to mention, let's just say I may not have the bandwidth to plan that wedding. If I tell you I'm busy, I'm working, when I get home, honestly, I'd rather relax than plan another event, even if it's with you and spending my life with you. I'd rather not do that. Yeah. I just can't. Like, own mental health, own personal space, own personal time. I can't commit to it. Yeah. Maybe that's a conversation that needs to have more often.
I think it has to happen
in the beginning,
earlier in the process.
In the planning stages of,
and maybe equity doesn't necessarily mean 50-50 that we're taking this on, but it's communicating before of like, listen, I know that this is my thing and you're doing this for me. Maybe you're paying for it. Maybe my parents are paying for it. I mean, who knows? The money conversation is like a whole separate different conversation of where it goes into it. But I think the point is finding ways so that you don't end up feeling resentful towards your partner in either way. If you're the 100%. Kyle that doesn't care, but you're like, I haven't seen my girlfriend in 6 months because every weekend she's off doing these like wedding things. Like, that would not make you feel like there was equity in the relationship on that side, right? Yeah. Or so
I'd probably give and take and be like, if I'm going to spend time with you and we have to get this wedding, then I'm going to spend time with you. We can go look at the venues you want to look at.
Do things together.
Yeah. But or now, if I would, me, Kyle, bias over here, I would still say, that's fine. I'm going to go with you. Don't ask me which one I really prefer. I will communicate to you if I know I don't like one or the other. Yeah. If that's even okay for me to say, because ultimately, if I didn't care and you chose the venues, I'm just going along the ride just to hang out with you. Yeah. I shouldn't. It shouldn't be fair for me to have a say if I'm just going literally to hang out with you. And I told you in the beginning, I don't really care.
That you don't really care. But then I think, how often does it happen where like the one partner who doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't care shows up to the meeting and then has a lot of fucking
And that
opinions.
was your fucking fault, you know?
No, I know, but I just think, I guess my point is it's hard. It's complicated. Like the equity factor is really complicated and could have a lot of different layers to it because it is time, it is money, it is emotion, and it is probably not even 50-50. I have worked with a fair amount of couples where I did feel like they were on it 50-50 though. Like every single one of them was copied on every email. They both, sat down and made every decision together.
Oh, yeah. I'll have some couples that are like way more invested about videography than they are about photography. Now, that is as rare as it is where the guy is way more involved than the girl. Yeah. Just as rare. But it does happen. Yeah. And I'm all for it. It doesn't change my service. It doesn't change anything that I do, but it's awesome to see. Yeah. So I think just finding ways to communicate and strategize so that you don't, either way, whichever partner is more invested than the other doesn't just like resent the other person by 6 months in and like, there's not the one person just quote unquote showing up. Yeah. Like, how can you find some kind of happy medium there? I will say too, it's super important. Always important. Communication. Yeah. Always being transparent with each other. I mean, it probably is, if this is your first like big investment thing.
Yeah.
You haven't purchased a house yet. Even if you have purchased a house, this is the second biggest thing you've probably have done.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, this is probably the most expensive thing that they've done yet together so far. So it's gonna be a very eggshelly, questionable area.
Yep.
Try to have as much fun with it as you can, but you gotta be transparent. If any type of I'm not a therapist. If any type of bitterness starts to creep up, you better nip that shit in the butt real quick.
Yeah.
Just clarify. Hey, I was feeling bitter because you didn't want to help me with this thing for the wedding. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad. Okay. Can I help you with anything right now while I have time?
Exactly.
Cool. Sounds good. Let's get back on the same page. We're on the same team.
Yep.
Let's do this together.
And I think the second bullet point, which I'm going to reorder our bullet points here a little because I think they flow in with the other one, is creating wedding planning into something that feels more like project management, something that you would do
for work.
And it kind of goes against what you just said of making the process fun, but also I think what happens and what stresses couples out and what gets really overwhelming is every day when we get home from work, when we sit down at the dinner table, we start talking about weddings. And if there is that one person of the couple that's like, I don't care, I don't want to talk about this anymore, that's going to end up getting really annoying 2 months in.
Yeah.
I'm all done. I need a break. So how can you project manage this motherfucker? So you are like, on Sundays, we sit down between 1 and 4 and we do wedding shit.
Yeah.
And guess what? Monday through Thursday, I promise I won't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is, right? How can I time block like I do for my businesses and my social media accounts so that this is what we're, spending time on? How can we limit the amount of fucking phone interviews that we're having so that this doesn't become take over our life for the next 30 days, just finding the photographer, whatever it is. And so creating, I actually have a couple right now that's using a full on CRM tool, like a Microsoft Teams type of tool. I've had several people use that. Planners that you hire might have kind of digital tools and checklists and things like that. We sell on our Etsy a really cool wedding planning workbook that would allow you to kind of help to project manage this a little bit and stay organized.
Among many other amazing things.
Amongst other things. But I do think that that's important because it will also help you actually get your planning done more efficiently as well. Because it's really when you just la-di-da chat and Google search and fucking Pinterest and TikTok every day, you're going to lose your goddamn mind.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get anything done.
And you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
It's you're just going to you only know from what you've heard.
Yeah.
And a few things that you've seen.
Yeah.
But you haven't experienced a wedding hands-on, assumingly. You haven't experienced a wedding hands-on where you're going to know the ins and outs of ooh, I know I'm going to want this vendor. I know the flow of the day.
Yeah.
I want this type of reception. I want this type of, you don't know what you don't know. So I think having the guide, our guide for sure, but having a guide to kind of break down weddings in general is probably a really good place to start if you want to have you just want to know what the playing field is.
Right.
You want to know what you're actually getting yourself into. I can guarantee if I gave myself our workbook when we got married, I probably would have been happily more involved because it was already more organized.
Yeah.
It was already set up for me for success of these are the
questions. And it gave you steps to follow and questions to ask. And it wasn't just Stephanie being like, hey, find us a fucking photographer. And you're okay, this is a lot.
Someone saying, hone your vision. Yeah. I fucking wish somebody said, hone your vision, because I would have been like, oh, yeah, we're going to do, I still want a cool DJ, but I do think location is actually important.
Yeah.
I would have not I didn't think about that because I wasn't given the workbook. You know what I mean? So the wedding was not, I don't regret anything from the wedding, but I definitely would have changed so many things about the wedding had I known what I had known from that workbook.
Exactly. And I think, for sure. So, equity, meaning you're not in this alone, whatever this means.
Yep.
Project management, meaning the more organized you stay, actually the more fun it will be. Maybe it just as a type A person, I find organization a blast.
This is why you are a wedding planner.
Which is why I'm a wedding planner. However, I do. Staying on track, games have rules for a reason, right? Like you can't just completely go off the rails. So that does lead us to number 3, which would be prioritizing, AKA honing your vision.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do everything. Your budget will not allow it. Your time will not allow it. Your family will not allow it. Your venue will not allow it. Whatever it is. Yep. You can't have the donkey that carries around beer bottles and the synchronized swimmers and the tattoo artist. It's just not going to happen for whatever A, B, and C reasons. So
no, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
No, although I want all those things.
It just won't. It just won't
in my everyday life.
Yeah.
So prioritizing, again, what are the vendors that you actually want to spend your budget on? What do I have the time to devote to creating these memorable, unique things? Like, I'm not going to spend the next month ordering custom cocktail napkins and, whatever it is. Maybe, like, I'm working with another really amazing couple right now. They're both artists. Like, they're spending so much time creating all these beautiful graphics and, like, their website is stunning and they're all this stuff. But, like, logistically, behind the scenes,
nightmare.
I mean, that's why they hired me, obviously, thank goodness. But so it's, prioritizing what you need, what you can afford, what is important to you. And, otherwise you're going to lose your mind again.
Yeah, no, 1 billion. 1,000,000,000%. If you hone I think of honing the vision. I was like thinking of some kind of analogy to help. We'll just call it the guys out there. Honing your vision is the second step after figuring out what game you're going to play. We got to figure out what are the rules of the game. You figure out the project management side of it. So you have we'll just call it, you have a guide.
Yeah.
Now you can see all the positions that need to get filled on the wedding day. Now you can go in the trenches a little bit and figure out, I think this position and this position and this position are absolutely necessary. Yeah. I don't think we really need these other ones. And then the other person, your partner, goes, I really want this one, and I agree on this one too. Cool, sweet. Now you know what the players or the sections of the game that you know for sure you want to have. Now it's still fun because you just pick the 5-6 things that you're gonna have a blast with. No matter what else happens, you're gonna have a fucking blast.
And you've also identified the things that you don't care about.
Yes,
right? Like, guess what? These 6 positions, both me and Kyle, neither of us picked those. So guess what? We're gonna devote as little time as possible. Those go in the bucket. Yep. Exactly. So that is how our honing the vision, works in our workbook that we sell. But I would encourage anybody to really sit down and pick the 3 top priorities.
Oh yeah, we go deep. We go deep on the workbook.
The 3 things that go in your bucket.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sure. That will help with the stress-free wedding.
Number 4. Or are we on 3?
That was 4.
That was 4.
We're on 5.
Wait, what was number 1?
Equity.
That was 2. What was 2?
The project management.
And then 3
prioritizing.
Was
I guess they're right. Okay, that was 3. So now we're on number 4.
Yeah, girl.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I went out of order on our bullet point thing.
That's
okay?
right. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, the next would be
number 4.
Outsourcing items that aren't fun or are overwhelming.
Ooh, okay. So outsourcing things that are not fun or overwhelming.
So what I tell clients, especially if they're shopping for a wedding planner,
okay,
or they're deciding between, do I need a planner or a month of coordinator, a day of coordinator, what is for me? And I always tell people, know thyself.
Oh, yeah.
What are you good at? Are you that couple that I was just saying is super artistic and they have the vision, but they just don't have the nuts and bolts in them? The project management side is not so good for them. Well, that's exactly why I stepped in. They outsourced and they hired me to handle those things. I am writing the lengthy emails to the venue and I am trying to figure out these logistics, right? Yep. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're a spreadsheet fucking queen, but you're I don't know what colors go good together. Then
I can't
you need
design
to hire.
Shit. Yeah.
Then finding a designer is really important for you. So it's kind of identifying which parts of this are fun and what you're good at, and what can you, outsource quite literally.
What can you get rid of?
Hire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it really becomes time is money.
Yeah.
You can't create everything on your wedding. So definitely how you can, and maybe even how you prioritize your budget. After you figured out how you've honed your vision and you got, we'll just call it the venue, you got the vendors that you know you need. Now it's like the everything else is like, now you can kind of have fun on the budget of like, okay, what else could we do with the money that we do have? So just stay flexible, I guess. Yeah, stay flexible when you're deciding
and
on all these
hiring
things.
vendors. Like, I mean, I think that also kind of falls in with like, do I DIY this thing or do I actually outsource it? And maybe you think you're going to save money, but like you said, time is money.
Yeah.
And are you really saving money if you're super gluing your fingers together because you had to put, do all these invitations and hole punch and blah, 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 blah. Is that really
There's
fun?
a reason why Amazon Prime is such a thing.
Yes.
Can it be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
You don't want to prime anything on your wedding day.
Yes.
So let's not prime a service. You
No,
know?
let's not prime a service.
Let's not prime a service.
It all kind of falls in line, but yeah, communicating with your partner. What is this? What parts of this is fun? What parts are we good at? What parts are we looking forward to? What parts do we hate? Maybe that's vendor selection. Maybe that's the guest count.
Maybe that's parental involvement.
Yes. It's true. Yeah. Finding all of those different pieces. So yeah, I think outsourcing when something isn't fun. Yeah. And I mean, I've heard that a lot with just like life in general. Like if your one chore that you hate is laundry and it ends up piling up and it becomes this like mountain, quite literally a mountain of laundry, but like this mountainous task that is like sitting on your shoulders, like how much would it cost to go to a fluff and fold and drop your shit off and just do that?
Put it in a bag and just give it to somebody.
Yeah. And like probably, you're thinking that's unnecessary. I can do my own laundry. But
laundry, wait, hold on. Hold on.
If it stops the fights, it's worth it to outsource.
Laundry is the bane of my. I don't even know if I'm saying. Is it bane or vein? Bane. What does that even mean? Anyway, I hate laundry. I'm happy to do the laundry in my house. I'm happy to see the clothes and whatnot. But pissy beds, I swear to God, Allie, it's like I'm gonna put my kids on blast on the podcast. My oldest one is great. My youngest one is potty training, and it's like every morning he wants to just dig in his fucking pants. Yeah. And he pees all over the bed. I put one of those like a puppy pad? It's not it's one of those like adult proof ones. And you just wash it.
Plastic.
Yeah, it's like a stack of like 4 or whatever, but like you can literally wash them. It's waterproof. Anyway, every morning,
That's
Allie,
a lot.
I'm doing laundry every goddamn morning. Not to mention my own clothes, Stephanie's clothes, and Kai's clothes, and Kieran's clothes. But now you got to add pissy bed every day. All right, thank you. That was my tangent. Thank you so much.
I mean, for anyone
you
who
mentioned
wonders,
bed and laundry, or you said laundry, and I just lost it. I just lost it for a second.
For anyone who wonders why I don't have kids, that that is a wonderful tangent that explains it all. I think that camera is not working. Or is it still?
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's still good. It's still locked on your face. It's just stopped the recording on one of the SD cards. It's still recording. Make
sure my camera is
your
good.
facha is totally fine.
Your camera can do whatever it wants, but okay, so along the same lines with outsourcing.
Number 5.
Kind of the same but different, which is
6.
Delegate. I think delegation along with outsourcing, meaning I think with outsourcing, we're automatically thinking of like paying somebody to do it, right? Whereas delegation is you might have a lot of folks in your life that want to help.
Yes.
And that doesn't necessarily mean, again, money-wise, but like, hey, this is just, I don't have the bandwidth for this thing, and neither does my partner. But God, my mom has all the time in the world and would actually.
Can you please coordinate breakfast for us, please?
Yes, she would actually love to find a florist. It would really make her happy. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, who can deliver lunch on the day?
Yeah.
There is some helpful uncle that would love to be asked to do that,
Yeah. Auntie, just for everybody to clear, auntie with the iPad, please don't bring the iPad. Can you actually just watch the kids over there?
Yes.
Just the whole day.
Yes.
Right over there. Thank you so much.
Yes. But delegation, like use your people, use your team, because guaranteed they do want to help. Yeah. And that does not mean to abuse your maid of honor or, groomsmen and force them to do a ton of manual labor or anything, because that is a slippery slope.
It is. Is this the last? Is is delegating the last
No,
thing?
we have one more.
We have one more. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm just gonna go on a little, not tangent, but
Actually, one more.
okay. Dear groomsmen, please bring a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
but only take drinks in the beginning of the day. Only take drinks if there's a photographer or videographer there. That's how you can pace yourself on your alcohol consumption. Because unfortunately, there have been a few weddings lately where we get a little too intoxicated. We, as in the groom, gets a little too intoxicated, or some of the groomsmen get a little too intoxicated too quickly before the ceremony. And it kind of like fucks the whole day. Like, or like at least the flow and the vibes of leading up to the ceremony, because I don't know, people are like too goofy and not so present.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, dear groomsmen and bridesmaids.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. Lock it up lock it up unless the photographer and videographer are there. Just so you can pace yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
or a mimosa's fine.
Mimosa's at 9 a.m. though, when
just
the photo
one.
doesn't start till 4 p.m. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Don't pop open anything until photographer or videographer get there, because we just need to hear the just see it. Well, photographers don't hear it, but they see it. That was weak. What?
I can't do it. I can't do that.
It's like a blowout. No, not a. It's a.
You do good.
Wait.
Good work. Congrats. Okay, our last tip for stress-free wedding planning.
This episode is so tangenty today.
Yo, you are tangenty.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. The people love it. The last one is cut off inspo. Cut off the TikTok. Cut off the Pinterest. Stop taking advice from your fucking little sister, whatever, your mom. Decision fatigue is a real thing, and you will quickly lose your mind. The worst, I think, too, is when you've already made a decision.
Oh, and then you start getting buyer's remorse because you saw something else and you just envisioned it at your wedding, and you're like, oh, fuck, well, what if I had this one too? Or,
and this is like
I know I don't have the budget, but can we make this work?
Yeah. Buyer's remorse, and also just like the wedding planning process for some people is 12 months, 18 months, maybe longer. Do you know how many times trends change within an 18-month period? Do you know how much your body might change, how your friend group might change? I actually have a lovely couple who I'm working with.
Friends.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. People. Okay. Okay. Go. I can't go on a tangent.
It's not exactly inspo, but I have a lovely couple I'm working with right now, and she just had to like cut her wedding party in half because she had all this drama with like her maid of honor and her bridesmaids. Yeah. But like that will happen over time. And so if you pick your photographer you're so in love with and you're like so stoked on, and then 6 months later some TikTok goes viral and you're like, that's the photographer I want. Like, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
The decision fatigue is real. So how do you choose to cut off that inspo?
I think the first one is people. Yeah. But I'm unfortunately good at cutting people out of my life. But like if it's bridesmaids and groomsmen, I think it's learning how to be how to respectfully say no, or how to respectfully say stop. Yeah. Is pretty important for couples. Yeah. And how that conversation happens is gonna vary between who they're talking to, whether if it's a bridesmaid, groomsman, best man, maid of honor, parents, grandparents, whoever it is, the planner, the photographer. You're gonna have to learn how to tell other people respect. Like if you want a good outcome, and you don't want to burn bridges, and you still want to have fun, we have to, all vendors and couples included, need to learn how to speak respectfully to one another. And that just means respectfully, this is our wedding. Yeah. Thank you so much for your input. Yeah. That's not the direction we're going with.
We feel good about
thanks.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or
I
just
didn't even
saying,
think
like-
about like vendors too. Like they'll start pushing shit on
I say
you.
I say shit all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we could do an engagement shoot
Yeah,
at
yeah.
your house. Oh, we could fucking go here. And then I'm like, but I mean, I'm here for you guys.
Yeah.
What do you
No, it's
want
true.
to do?
Because people
You know what I
have
mean?
good intentions, but it just ends up coming off
It could
really
be too much.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it could be
and
too
so,
much.
yeah, being able to, I totally agree. I think being able to say no to
Yeah.
outside opinions, advice, even
Yeah.
if it's well-meaning and like good advice,
Yeah.
it's just like, actually, we've already done this and we're feeling confident
Yeah.
about it, so I'm gonna stop you right there.
I think if you as in the couple, if you're giving the benefit of the doubt to the person that's speaking to you, it
Yeah.
will be easier for you to tell them and understand they're just excited for you.
Yeah.
They're just really excited. They're
Yeah.
like a fucking puppy and it's a play date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just happy for you. So they're just like, oh, you know what I did? I went here and I
Yeah.
did this and you
My
should do
guest
this and this was
loved it.
fun
Yeah.
and I thought this was cool. Oh, at my wedding we did this. Like
Yeah.
they're just excited for you. And they're also probably happy to share a positive experience that they had at another wedding.
Yeah.
So I think if you just remember that, give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You're literally talking to me right now because you're just so excited. I'm going to take everything you say with a grain of salt and I'm going to just listen to what are you trying to communicate to me right now. Oh, you thought these flowers oh, yeah, those flowers were sick. Thank you so much for the input.
Yeah.
We actually already found our flowers. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Or we found our florist actually. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Even you can lie. You can lie to your wedding guests.
That's
You
true.
can lie to your vendors. You can lie to your guests. You can do it.
Yeah.
If it means just shutting the conversation up.
No,
I don't
I actually
know.
think that's great advice.
Honestly,
I do.
I'm gonna lie.
Yeah.
I lie
and
for
be
my
like,
couples
you know,
all the
we
time.
actually already have that figured out. Thank you so much, though.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Sometimes a little
Mom
white
comes
lie.
up. Oh my gosh, I bought these. Oh, mom, thank you so much. You can return them. Actually,
We already had that.
Like somebody actually is saying that they got this covered, and they've already bought it. It's at their place. I don't know. You just make up some shit
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
like,
I
if
agree.
you don't want the involvement, sometimes honestly, telling the lie to calm the excitement of the person that you're
Yeah.
talking to is probably it may be for the best.
Yeah, I
It's
like
like lying to a kid about Santa
to
Claus.
white lies and wedding planning.
Yeah,
I
fuck
like
yeah.
that a lot.
Here we
Sometimes
go.
lies are beneficial. But yeah, so absolutely the human input is a lot.
Yeah.
And the online inspo is endlessly overwhelming because there is so much content and
Yes.
it is never ending. And there is
It's hard to validate the truth.
Yes,
too.
and there's this extreme emphasis, and we are part of the problem in this of doing things different and non-traditional and, you know, focus on you as a couple. And I actually feel like, as maybe positive of a message that is it's really overwhelming for couples. I get that
It's like
question a lot.
having too many the kid in a candy store
Yeah,
situation,
and
like too many options.
And then they just feel like if I don't have the coolest, most unique, most non-traditional wedding ever, then my wedding sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to get married at a hotel and do all of the traditional wedding things and do it all completely
how
by the
it
book.
was normally done 15, 20 years
That's
ago.
okay.
It's fine.
It doesn't have to have a beer slinging burro at your fucking wedding.
As long as you're having fun, fuck, man. Just go
Yes.
have fun. Like,
Yes.
that's all your people want for you.
Yeah.
That is all your vendors want for
Yeah.
you, is to see you having fun,
Totally.
enjoying the night,
Yeah.
like, or enjoying the day.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah. And I
don't think we're part of the problem. I
well,
think
we don't know, but I just think there's this encouraging to, you know, be authentic, be real. And yes, that's true, but maybe it's just the messaging. I just think that in and of itself is overwhelming for people. Like, okay, I want to be real. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, do I have to go get married in a fucking bookstore because
Yeah.
I love books? Like, no, you
No.
don't. You can still get married at a country club if you, you know what I mean? Like, there is another
if you
way.
love books,
Yeah.
if you love books, go ahead and put like your favorite books as like the table numbers or
Yeah.
something.
Or
I
don't.
don't know. Or don't. Just say like, I don't need books involved in my fucking wedding.
Yeah, I love
cool.
books. I love books.
Sounds
But
good.
For
We don't
everything
need
other
to do
than
that.
my wedding. Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
So I think that's where the inspo overload thing just gets really overwhelming. Yes, you're going to have decision fatigue. There's going to be 5 million decisions that you have to make for this motherfucking event.
Yeah.
But cutting off the inspo yourself, so that's literally deleting your fucking TikTok. That is literally, cutting off those conversations.
Call your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
like how do we just stop at a certain point? And
Yeah.
I think that for me might be like the number one best advice for like stress-free wedding planning.
Yeah.
Maybe hard, difficult, and the temptation is very real to not go down that rabbit hole, but it will help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pause. Reflect.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yep. So you want a summary one more time?
Oh,
so you
yeah.
guys
Let's
can
go
look at it?
through.
Equity.
Wait, what's the title of the episode?
Tips for stress-free wedding planning.
Number 1.
Equity within wedding planning.
Number 2.
Prioritize and hone your vision.
Number 3.
Project management.
4.
Outsourcing items that aren't fun anymore.
5.
Cut off inspiration.
6.
Delegate.
7.
Okay, we kind of missed. I forgot one.
What did you
But
forget?
it kind of.
What did you forget? What did you
This one
forget?
was kind of stupid. It was rely on referrals. That was stupid. We didn't really want to do that one.
Well, okay. Well, okay.
Since we brought it up,
no,
yeah,
we
we'll touch on it.
yeah, no. Okay. Well, we changed it from refer not rely on referrals, utilize referrals is what we were trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Utilizing referrals is going to the planner that you have or the coordinator or the venue or the photographer and saying, hey, we need help finding X vendors.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions?
Right.
That is a referral.
Going to the venue and going off of their list. I think for me, what this means the most, like obviously, like a lot of people are going to referrals. Like that to me is like a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
But to me, what it means is also like not reinventing the wheel if it's not necessary.
Correct.
I don't like if this venue has this list of 6 amazing photographers that know the space, and I'm not saying you should only go off of vendor list, but whatever. Like, do you need to fly the guy out from Mexico City because he, whatever fucking
You just
Instagram
really
you
like
saw,
that one Instagram post that he
or
likes.
like I just did a wedding at a venue I work at a lot, and they had this really different idea for layout for design, and it was a fun idea, but it just like really wasn't working.
It
and
clashed.
it just ended up being weeks and weeks and weeks of work for both the couple and for me selfishly, and for the venue of just like trying to make this new idea work instead of just taking the referral, which was, hey, why don't you just do what we've done here 5,000 times? Because we're telling you that this isn't going to fit. It's going to impede service. It's going to slow everything down. But because they had to do something that was so shiny and new and out of the box, like it ended up being a fucking like pain in the ass for everybody,
Yeah.
So I think that also kind of falls in line with like not just referrals of other vendors or other humans, but like if I'm giving you this advice, are you listening to it?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That brings up a really good point though. Sorry, what is the name of the episode? 7 things.
Well, I guess it's 7. It was 6, but now it's 7.
It's 6 or 7
Stress-free
things. Stress-free
tips on
tips.
wedding planning.
I could imagine that it was stressful for that couple to want to do something that they really wanted to do, and you have a planner and the venue telling you it's difficult, it's gonna have negative effects, and so on and so forth. If this was something that was on the Hone Your Vision, would that be something that, I mean, because did they end up following through?
Well, what we
Or
said,
like,
because
what happened?
because we are, vendors that care about our couples and want to do whatever we can to make them happy, we said, okay, here's what we can do to make this work. This is as close to your vision as possible. We still don't think it's
the best decision. Yes. Yeah.
However, if this is, and she was like the sweetest bride, like she did not have a lot of requests. She had, but this was her one thing. So I kind of thought of it like that too. Like she honed her vision, and this is the image
thing.
Has been on her Pinterest board
even
since
if
day one.
Yeah. Even
and
if I don't think it looks good and it kind of clashes, guess what? She got what she wanted.
This has nothing to do with my opinion on it. This had everything to do with the like logistics of serving 150 people on time and stuff, But like,
good to clarify, because I don't think sometimes people will listen to that and hear our conversations, and I think sometimes couples will think, and we're just being bitchy towards the couple. It's not. It's literally the situation, because I feel confident. You and I are we are very good about making sure that we care about our couples and the service that we're providing the couples, because we understand it. It's a fucking wedding day. So if there isn't ever a moment where we feel like you can think that we don't care, it's not that. It's just that we want you to have the best event, and we don't think this is going to give you that best event.
Yep, it's true.
That, just to clarify the perspective too.
It's very rarely aesthetics that I would criticize somebody over. I don't care. Style is so like subjective. Like that is so not what it's all about.
Yeah.
So this was quite a tangent, but I do think it's actually a little bit helpful and probably applies to different situations where it's like, okay, all these people are telling you to do this in this other way, but you know what? We made it work as best as we could for her, and she was happy at the end of the day. And
look at that.
You know, like the servers struggled a little and whatever to make this vision a reality. But yeah, because this was the only thing she was so specific about, I, as her planner, was like happy to make it happen for her.
No, and that's awesome. I think too, that's one, you created Hone Your Vision in the first place. So obviously you knew the importance and the significance of what you were doing. But for couples listening, there might be moments where you're honing your vision, moments where your top 6 things that you're like, oh, I have to have here. It might actually, and it's not mine. It will absolutely have some kind of negative impact on the rest of the wedding. Yeah. Because it's gonna be a pro con.
Right.
Because if you have one vendor, it's a con for all the other vendors in that same department. Yeah. Because you're not hiring 2 of the same vendors or 2 of the same things usually. So there is going to be a give and take for everything that you decide, because I knew when I chose the DJ, I didn't give 2 shits about any other DJ or any other style of music. I knew that was going to have some kind of negative impact on maybe some of the older guests that were at the wedding. Maybe they wouldn't have been they weren't super happy about all of the music that was playing. Guess who was happy about the music that was playing? Yeah. Fucking me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Me and my wife. Yeah, that's all that really mattered. So, yes, we honed our vision, and yes, her and I were super stoked about the music. I'm just using our wedding as the example. But we were super stoked on that. But I'm not naive to know that there were some wedding guests that probably were not exactly happy with the music that I chose on the wedding day. Yeah. So...
And there's there's a trade-off typically.
Thank you. Yes, there's going to be a trade-off.
To make your vision happen. And for this particular bride, she had to rework her seating chart 6 times in the last, 12 days. But to her, was that trade-off worth it? Yes,
absolutely.
It was.
Yeah.
So like for me, would I've been like, why don't you just use round tables like we told you at the beginning? But you know what? It was worth it for her. So it all is a trade-off. I mean, that is such the moral of the story, right? It's either time or it's money. It's making this person happy. It's making this person fucking sad. Yep. If I'm authentic to me, I'm going to piss off my dad. Like, there is always a trade-off, and that is
Can't take the good without the bad.
No.
You just can't. So, you just can't take the good without the bad.
That's like a discouraging way to end a podcast, but...
It's not discouraging. We're not fucking ending the podcast like that. I think it's just keeping it real, okay? We're keeping what we bring...
Break down the good, the bad, and the downright fucking crazy.
Yes, exactly.
It's true, and it's crazy, and that's okay. But you know what? Sometimes just knowing that other people are going through the same experience as you is also helpful.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean, we went through it. Comment below. You let us know. You vent to us. Comment below. You tell us what were some really shitty ass moments during your wedding planning that you wish you got a little bit more help and support on, because I'm sure there's hundreds, thousands of other people that have gone through a similar situation as you.
That's very true. Misery loves company. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And we will
see you next
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Peace.